still watching this, I appreciate you. Now I want to talk about the build and what makes this gun special. So to start out, there's three main hipfire stats in the game. There's minimum hipfire, maximum hipfire, and then it shows a strafing hipfire spread. You get your minimum value, so your smallest hipfire spread cone, when you are standing still, not moving at all. And in any situation where you're going to want to use a hipfire build, you're probably going to be moving somewhat. So in my opinion, it's better to prioritize the strafing number along with the maximum. And the maximum number is what you're going to be getting when you're doing things like jumping, whether that's jumping off a roof, jump shotting, whatever it is. These are things that you probably would be doing in a close range fight with an SMG when you're hip firing. The thing that makes the Shroud special as far as creating hipfire builds is it has a really low starting hipfire spread. It is 2.7 degrees. And to add context to this, the second lowest that I found, unless I'm mistaken, is the Vel with 3.5, and all the others seem to range from 3.5 up to about 4 degrees. So like I said, the focus when I'm doing a hipfire build is to get attachments that focus on the max hipfire spread along with the moving or strafing hipfire spread. So to start out, this stockless mod right here, you can see off to the side, it has a positive for both the moving hipfire spread and the max. And it also increases your strafe speed and just other movement speeds in general, which doesn't hurt at all for this sort of build. So we're going to go with that. For the laser, I would go with either the hip shot or the point. They both have the same reductions to each of the three hipfire stats. The advantage of the point is the reduction to sprint to fire and tactical sprint to fire. But I go with the hip shot because I think the point is more visible. But either one is going to get you the same effect as far as making the hip fire good for this gun. As far as the magazine, I like going with the 40 round. You could also go with the 50, or if you're confident or maybe play in a squad, you could just run the standard 30 round magazine as well. It will work. But I usually go with the 40 on this. There are 3 different underbarrels that all maximize the reduction to the max hipfire spread. Those 3 are the Bruin Warrior Grip, the Cronin Groove Shot, and then the VX Pineapple. And so they all have the same hipfire reductions, but then they have different levels of recoil control benefits and ADS speed penalties. I tend to lean towards the Cronin Groove Shot because this one doesn't have any recoil control benefit, but it also doesn't have any penalty towards ADS. So it's not really a big deal, whichever one of those you go for. And there's other good options too. I would just seek out one of the foregrips that reduces max hipfire spread, even if it's not one of these 3. I think there's a couple ways to go for the next attachment. To absolutely maximize the strafing hipfire, you would go with this barrel right here. It has another reduction to both the moving and the max hipfire spreads, and it has an ADS reduction as well, which is nice, and some other movement advantages. So that's a good option. It slightly decreases your damage range, so that's something to be aware of. The way I was running it for my insured for most of this video was actually using hollow points. The one issue with hollow points and why they might be a little bit overrated is to get their effects, which are stopping sprinting along with a stunned effect, you have to shoot people in the legs. And so with typical SMG builds, like that's prioritizing ADS while shooting, you really shouldn't be aiming for people's legs. You will hit them sometimes, but that's probably going to be when they're further away. If you're aiming at people's legs in close range fights and they're good, you're probably going to lose most of the time. So I'm not as big on them as a lot of people, but I do think since this is a hipfire build that it's a great opportunity for them to shine, because if you're hip firing at somebody, you are going to be less accurate probably with your aim. So that's the build. It's slightly different. I think I was running a different foregrip for most of the video, but that's not that big of a deal. So now let's get into how this gun performs TTK wise against some popular SMG options. So we can see here I have it set to chest TTKs up close. It is significantly faster than any other SMG in the game. It has a 524 millisecond TTK, and it also carries that to the upper arm hitboxes. The only issue is after just 7 meters, it falls more in line with the other options, and this is also just a great demonstration. You can see with that light blue line how dominant the Bass P is. Once you start getting to some of those further ranges for SMGs, it just shows why the gun is so popular, but that's not really the subject here. And then if we switch to the lower torso, we can also see that causes the TTK to fall more in line with some of these other options. It starts to shine again if we switch down to the legs, because it does not have another TTK drop off. So then it gets to the point where, once again, it is killing significantly faster than some of these other like popular SMGs. If you were to hit every single shot to someone's lower leg, this gun is still killing faster than the Vel even ever comes close to. It's going to be a higher skill gun than most of the SMGs, because just the aggressive play style that's probably going to be kind of required of you to get the most out of a mostly hipfire build, combined with the fact that just objectively anytime a gun is semi-auto or burst, it's just something else to do rather than with a full auto you're just holding the trigger down. And I know particularly for people playing on controllers, depending on what kind of controller you have, it might be hard to always fire this as fast as you need to get those TTKs. So there's a couple downsides to it. It's not a perfect gun, and the reality is, in the majority of situations, most people are going to be more comfortable with something like a Bass P or a Lachmann sub. So thank you if you watched this whole thing. I hope that this video can help somebody learn something new. Maybe somebody who is new to DMZ or is trying to get back into it. Hope y'all have a good one.